And good afternoon. My name is Ryan Belmore. I am the owner and publisher of What's Up Newp. It is shortly after 3 p.m., 3:01 here on Thursday, October 15th. We are continuing our conversations with the candidates, bringing the candidates to you so you can get a chance to hear from them, as well as meet some of the candidates that you may not know too much about. Well, she is an incumbent on the Newport School Committee, and she is Louisa Boatwright. And good afternoon. How are you?
Good, Ryan. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. How is general election campaign 2020 going for you?
Well, I'm actually having some fun. I'm going out door to door, knocking on them with my mask on, stepping back and having a lot of really good conversations. I enjoy that the most.
You are, many candidates have, for health reasons, for whatever reasons, have skipped that. What are you hearing as you go door to door from Newport voters?
Well, there's a lot of good questions. I think that I am a co-chair of the building committee, so I am taking fact sheets out because it's so hard to get information out, and we need an educated voter. So first, thank you for doing this kind of session. But people are, once they sort of hear the facts and see the facts, I think that it's pretty much, I'm starting to feel fairly confident. I never get overconfident, but that people actually see the great need that Rogers needs to be redone. And so I'd say that's pretty the majority of what I'm finding. Originally, I have to say, going back 3-4 weeks, very few even knew about the bond, which was shocking to me. So but more and more,
I've been seeing people post, and it's on my long list of stories to do on bond questions just across the islands, because I'm seeing people post on social media, where can I find out who's on the ballot? How many candidates are on the ballot? Where can I find out more?
Right.
In towns like Portsmouth, there are 13 questions on their ballot. And I think that's going to take a lot of people by surprise when they walk in.
Right.
What is the biggest misnomer about the school bonds that you're hearing out there?
Well, as I said, a lot of people don't even know it's on the bond, okay? I'd say another one is just the fact that, regionalization is what we need to do, and that even if Middletown doesn't do it, the state should demand it. And but that's not the factual way things work, because that would take a legislative action to make that kind of thing happen. And there's just not the will amongst other communities. Newport has, as I have learned, I've only been here 21 years full time, has wanted this for a long time, but we seem to be, I always make the analogy, I wanted to date this guy in high school and we never dated, we were always good friends, and that's good, but we just never dated. So you can't make things happen just out of desire. So it's a lot of hard work, and regionalization is really a very complex issue. So my thing is to just make us more attractive. And I think that the Career Tech Center, by talking to a lot of Middletowners, that is sort of the jewel that we have. And that's really the educational design behind the new high school, is to be a fully integrated high school with career tech, meaning all students would come out with both academic and career skills my daughter, I have a daughter who's 21 years old and been working since she's been 14, and work is a very important skill set. It doesn't come naturally to everybody. So you really have to learn, work skills. So.
And I'm sure we'll get back to the school here in a minute, but I was so excited to talk to you today. I completely skipped over the normal order I do these
I
things in.
know, I was surprised at that, but we got right into it, you know?
I know. There's new voters that have probably recently just moved to Newport. There are voters that are voting for the first time in this election. For the people who aren't familiar with you, why don't you give us a little bit of your background, how long you've been on school committee, things like that.
Okay. So I've lived in Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island. So I've seen some different perspectives. I went to college at University of New Hampshire, got a degree in business with a minor in operations and finance. So as many people will tell you, I always think about what's the most effective, efficient way to achieve a goal. It's just sort of what I do. I have a daughter, age 21, Victoria, who I'm very proud of. She is a junior at Georgetown right now and learning virtually, which is hard because you're a very social being when you're 21, and living home with your mom can be difficult, but we're making it through. She was at Cogshell School, started at age 5. Many of my friends didn't send their kids to public schools. They either moved out of town or went to private school. So anyhow, she started there and we really liked it. Then I started immediately volunteering. I was co-chair of the PTO in Cogshell when she was a kindergartner, and met Becky Bolin, who's another school committee member. So that's how long I've known her. And we worked on a lot of school improvement things at Cogshell. And then I've continued on since then. Being my last name is Boatwright, you might guess I'm a sailor. Started when I was a kid, before I was age 1. My husband was too, and my daughter continues that. So we both cruise and race. My daughter's on the racing team now at Georgetown. So goes with the name. So.
Excellent. How many terms, how long you've been on school committee?
I am seeking my 2nd term.
Okay.
Yep.
And why are you seeking re-election?
Okay, that's a good question. I thought that was coming, having watched some of your interviews, but
they're not always in the same order. It's
I know,
whatever
right.
comes up here.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, I never thought I would run for school committee because my daughter did not finish in the public schools. She did some time at Cogshell, but when her class was unique because they changed the age range, so you had to be 5 September 1st instead of January 1st. So her class was very small, it was down to a little over 100 students initially. And she was in a small Cogshell school, so she was going to be with the same kids from K to grade 5. And I thought that was a little small for public school for me. So she did go outside, but I was very involved in volunteering right along, even after she moved out. But in 2018, I went to a couple school committee meetings, and I was really surprised because I saw reversing of decisions on the school committee. I saw them implementing or approving things that had no real implementation plan and not enough time to communicate to parents and teachers. So that's why I decided to run. Again, I have a lot of business. I worked in business for 25 years, doing implementations and so on. And you need to make quality decisions with the research having been done before you make the decision, and then have the implementation time frame that allows for quality implementation and good communications to the teachers and the families. So that's why I threw my hat in to bring my sets.
What are you most proud of? I said this yesterday to one of your colleagues on the committee. Just can't remember which one. But obviously, it's a committee, and not one person does anything. What are you most proud of that you and your fellow members on the committee have accomplished during your time on the committee?
Well, I think the improved teamwork is one of the things. I think some of that comes back down to those process things I was talking about, is really working to try to really focus on the goals that we want, which have been improved teamwork and really making quality decisions to improve educational outcomes. So that's number one. Number two, with my skill sets I've done a lot of work in finance over the years, so I did want to be the chair of the finance committee. So I was elected November 18, November 19, I was assigned as chair, and then January 19, Laura Citron, the city finance director, said, I'm putting $1 million away because the school budget's going to be over by $1 million. So I started having meetings with the superintendent, the then finance manager, and just saying, we looked at a lot of trending, a lot of different items, and ended up the year with a $97,000 overage, not $1 million. There was a lot of hard work that went on in that, a lot of teamwork to make that happen. So that's one thing. And the other is being co-chair of the building committee, which we have done a very thorough analysis of all the options. We understand all the rules and regulations, and we've been able to achieve the maximum amount of state incentives for that, and have focused completely on the educational plan, which is, as I said to you, a fully integrated career tech in high school, which is leveraging sort of the strengths that Newport has. In the last 5 years, we've quintupled the number of state and national awards coming out of Rogers. A lot of those are from career tech programs, but some of them also history and other things like that. So I'd say those are my three.
What are, you're reelected, what do you think the top priorities are for you as a reelected committee member, as well as what the priorities are for the Newport School Committee, the newly elected? You can give me one, you can give me three, whatever.
So the top priorities I have are really engaging students. We have one of the strategic planning items 5 years ago was ILPs, independent learning plans, which is a way for students in grade 6. It really starts 5 or 6, where they can start really identifying what their areas of interest are when they're young enough. Now they can always change, and this allows that, but it starts to get them to focus on what their interests are and what that might mean in long-term sort of jobs or careers or just life. So then how does education help them attain that goal that they might have, and gives them sort of the broader exposure to different kinds of careers, because when you're young, you think about teacher, fireman, different things. So it's that kind of thing. And then the other thing is is to do more integration of students. And one of the things I've learned through my daughter, again, and private schools do this a lot, they do a lot of peer-to-peer tutoring and peer-to-peer mentoring, and that does a lot of things. One is the student who's teaching actually learns better because they're teaching, but also they can help other students improve their learning. They also bridge over different groups in the classrooms or in their grade, so it does a lot for integration of kids, and it does also teach a lot of self-confidence when you're teaching other kids and so on. And I actually believe, from watching my daughter now at age 21, she's still doing it in college, and she'll either go into the education field, or wherever she works, she will be, I'm sure, mentoring people throughout her career, which is, I think, a very good social skill.
Excellent. You're one of 10 candidates running for Newport School Committee. Why should people fill in the dot next to your name?
Well, I think I bring, as I said, operational and financial knowledge and skill sets to the thing. I believe I look strategically at issues. I have a daughter that I've been to other states. I have a daughter who's gone through schools, different schools, so you learn different things in different schools. And I'm a team player. I like to listen, I like to learn, and I try to be as respectful and leverage everybody's strengths. So.
And I'll give you a chance also for this one. Why should people vote, flip over the ballot? Remember, no matter where you are.
Saying that, thank you.
Anywhere in Rhode Island, remember to flip over the ballot and make sure you see any questions on the back. Most communities, actually every community will have at least question 1. So there are questions on the back. But why should people flip over the ballot and fill on question 2, approve?
Well, again, I think that regionalization would be a nice thing, but it's a hope. It's not a fact. And I did meet with a couple of the town councilors after they voted no, just for coffee. And they said, you know, you don't take care of your buildings. They had just expended $10 million into their buildings. And they're very proud of their schools. And one of the things that I think we have to do is help Newporters to understand that we should be proud of our schools too. It's one of the things when walking around yesterday, actually, I was talking to a lot of people about Pell School, you know, and they like the old buildings. They love those old small schools. But I said, you know, the education in the new Pell School is phenomenal. A lot more project-based stuff. The kids are all one group, so they all know each other by the time they go to Thompson in the high school. And there's a lot of educational benefits to the Pell School design. So building a new school, facilities do matter. They really do matter. And we have the maximum amount of money. The state, particularly under COVID, in the past, they have not approved applications for building aid when there's been a financial downturn. So I think we really need to do this, show Middletown that we do care for our buildings, we do care for education, and I think that that would be the best step towards regionalization. So I hope everybody considers approving it.
All right. Any issues, topics, anything else that we didn't get to today in this very short time we spent together that you would like to bring up?
Let's see. Can't really think of anything. I think that the key is my goal, and I think all of our goals should be that Newport is really, we're a wonderful destination. We're one of the top destinations internationally, but resident-wise, we really need to focus on having young families and young people want to live in Newport. There's declining enrollment all around Rhode Island, and it's so important to be a vital community with young people wanting to live here and wanting to come to our schools. So I think it's a really critical step forward for Newport and for Rhode Island, what the state is doing in fixing facilities. 15 communities that have already done it, and there's 4 more that are voting on it right now, improving their school facilities, and I hope they all do. So,
okay.
You want me to put out there? I will put out. I know Rebecca Boland was on it. She couldn't remember the website, but it's npsri.net/bond info, and that's where all the factual information is, and that's what we've been trying to pass out to many households so that people can be educated on the facts of the bond.
And Louisa, is there a good way for people to get a hold of you or find out more about you if they want to get in touch about your candidacy?
Yes. Well, I have an email, l.boat@cox.net, and my cell number is 401-369-0488. Leave a message if I don't answer it, because I don't always answer calls. I don't know who they're from, but I will return them.
All right. Well, we wish you the very best of luck coming up here on November 3rd. And Louisa is asking you to fill in the dot next to her name under Newport School Committee, and then flip over that ballot and fill in approve on question number 2 is her other ask. So
right. And it's the longest name on the ballot.
All right. Hey, there you go. All right, Louisa. Well, good luck, and thank you so much for spending time with us today.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
All right. I want to thank Louisa for joining us. And she is just another candidate that we have talked to in the Meet the Candidate series. If you're looking for more information on any other candidate, or you want to see videos of all the candidates that we've interviewed, you can find them all on whatsupnewp.com. Just click on the top. It says 2020 election. I'm going to be sorting them a little bit better later on today, hopefully. And we'll continue to interview Middletown Town Council candidates, Newport School Committee candidates, and Portsmouth Town Council candidates through the rest of this week, through the weekend, we're trying to get them. We know people are voting, and we are trying to get them in as quick as the candidates allow and have time for. So All the candidate interviews up on our website. And again, I want to thank Louisa for joining us, and you can find out more information exactly where she said. Thanks for watching.